You go to these companies and say, look, I have here's my receivables. I'm going to generate this much money, so advance me on first fee.
Yeah.
But the other side of this is that these games are profitable within like 3 days. So you can also do that on the marketing spend. So you can basically fund yourself on both ends without really needing heavy amounts of cash like you would need in the gaming space for marketing.
Yeah, I'm just still curious at the scale, like how much scale
how do you
need
get-
to, because at some point, like you need some kind of a buffer to kind of keep you running.
This is no bullshit gaming podcast, 2.5 Gamers. Sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. We are definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but having so much fun. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously.
Should we start? Okay, now everybody, my name is Matej Lancaric.
I'm Felix Braberg.
And Jakub Remiar.
We are your hosts for today, and we have Gus and we have Adam over here. Okay, so let's start with the actual intro. Obviously, this is a live podcast. Again, from the conference. Yeah. It's live. It's live. Yes, it's very live. We are very live. We have Schweppes over here. It's fine. Let's start with Gus' intro, and then Adam, you will do the intro, and then we'll see what happens.
As usual.
As usual. Cool.
Sure. Hey.
Who the fuck are you? Hello.
I'm Gus.
Yes, we know each other for a while.
Yeah.
That's true.
We work together, actually.
I know, yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. UA, admon, mostly UA. Nowadays, very AI and shit. I've been doing mobile game marketing for like 10 years in various different genres. We kind of did mid-core together.
That's true, yeah. Almost 4X as well.
Hardcore.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Hardcore.
I've actually been in a hyper-casual studio.
Yeah.
So
We also did casual together.
yeah, we did casual together. No, hybrid.
Yeah, nowadays hybrid. So
Shit, I have worked with 2 out of 3
We're still
of
talking about
you.
gaming, right?
Yeah.
2.5.
2.5 of yeah, work with 2.5 of you. Perfect.
And we're still talking about gaming.
So, summary, if you see that I have like 50 game launches, it's because 35 of them were hyper casual.
Okay.
That's the context.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about me.
How about you?
My name's Adam Jaffe. I'm working in gaming for a while. Got my own studio here in Barcelona for the last 3 years called Mega Studio. We do first and third party game development. We're sort of focused at the moment in the kind of rewarded gaming space and gamification. But yeah, man, I'm sort of OG in this space. Been working in gaming for companies like Playticus, Jam City, Social Point, you name it, I probably have done something with them. And yeah, also kind of a conference whore. I'm here just hanging out.
We all are.
I don't do work here. And people are like, oh, what did you use this?
Yeah, what's your goal?
Yeah, what's a conference for you? And I'm like, well, I'm here. I was invited, so obviously people should be happy that I'm here.
people should be
I'm
happy.
literally here because people invited me to be here to
A professional conference goer.
Exactly.
oh,
That is what I need to have in this. Not speaker, not. I guess if you have the word speaker, you're technically a professional conference goer, but I think we should be more explicit about that. You're here for people too.
you know, meet.
Yeah.
They meet you.
Did
You see, you go to some of the talks and it's like,
No.
no. Like, why not? Because I was outside. People want to talk to me.
Yeah, but like that's always the case. Like, what's your goal at this conference? Like, I don't have a goal. What do you mean? How can you justify me? It's like, first of all, I'm my own boss, so I can justify whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck I want. And like, I want to just meet people. That's it.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
Long are the days of having to like justify.
What are you guys doing?
So we make a kind of game. First of all, we've made a bunch of different types, but the games that you're referring to from your is
They need to have ads if it's
Yeah.
So we do a kind of game which is a variation of rewarded games. So rewarded games are, you see these types of products where you can earn
You are
real
about
money.
to witness a very special moment.
Wow.
So here you go. It's a very special moment.
I have a moment of silence.
Yeah, a moment of silence. Oh my god, this is fucking
What everyone is here for.
Can I get it for the start?
because you go here. both.
Please tell me I get one of these.
So this is, John and Josh, with the guys.
The ones that actually did the work.
Yeah, they did the work.
They work.
Thank you very
Cheers
much.
to you guys.
Is this for you? No, it's for me.
I mean-
Oh, sure.
I'll take one.
Yes.
Okay, great. Cheers.
Cheers to
The
you.
joys of life. podcast.
Yes.
Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers. Salute. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. For those listening, guys are just cheering with margaritas.
Anyway, rewarded. So rewarded games, interesting topic. Basically, what we do is players come in, and we incentivize them to play our game by offering them real money payouts. right? But there's no in-app purchase, so there's no cash transaction there, which is why we can kind of go outside of the world of gambling. So we're not part of RNG, we're not skill-based, none of that stuff with like proper.
How do you get them out of mobile then?
How do you get them out of the mobile?
Like, where do they pay if the entry funnel is in mobile?
No, they don't pay. So we basically
Great monetization. They don't pay.
think about your offer walls, or think about any game that has ads in there, right? So essentially, that's what we're doing. We're offering the user some type of value for actually going on to take this product.
Wait a second, time out. I install your game.
Yeah.
It's from mobile store.
Yes.
App Store, Google Play.
Yes.
Where's the money part? How do I get to it?
You don't get to the money. How do you?
You get to the money.
How do you know? Sorry. How do you make money as a player? Sorry. So basically, you come into the game, you're playing the game, you're scratching cards, you're with the slot machine. All of a sudden, you get a winning card or a winning, whatever amount of money. And we say, hey, if you want to claim this, you must go perform some actions. So it's a kind of incentivized product.
You must go where? Once again.
Go to an offer wall, watch an ad, complete a survey, give us information, PII, whatever it is. So we're building up this sort of infrastructure around sending players out and
So you give him a quest for ads.
exactly, and they do that. So it's the gamification of ad monetization, the gamification of first party data collection.
Okay, so I watched 20 rewarded ads, whatever Felix's whole portfolio.
Yeah.
I just did that. So where's the money, or how do they get the money? What's the next step?
So then you've accumulated some amount of value. We take that value, and then we deliver it to you in the form of that card you present. We allow you to reveal it. Then you say, hey, you've got 25 cents available, and if you'd like to, you can go cash it out.
Where?
Or go to PayPal.
To PayPal?
PayPal or whatever.
And how do then direct the user to that link?
No, it's
I'm
there.
talking.
It's
where I'm heading
it's
here.
in. So PayPal, there's a bunch of companies that do rewarded payouts for big companies. All of the guys they're in the rewarded space. If you look at like your ad shows or your Fluence or whatever, so they all have a payout option.
That's the technical infrastructure behind it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still at the point like, how do you translate the user through?
Yeah.
You know where I'm heading.
Yeah, so basically it's like any payout. It's within the app, so it feels like a native solution. So you come into the game, you're saying I have about $5 cash out. You click the cash out button. They say put in your PayPal account. They submit the claim, or they submit the payout. We approve.
It's like reverse, like in Apple Pay or whatever, like stores you would like put your account.
Yeah.
This time they put their account.
Yeah.
So they never leave the app.
Never.
I thought that at some point they were like browser link, whatever.
No.
There is method to the madness, not
There is.
That's really interesting.
So what we see is interesting. If you think about ATT came, what was that, like 3 years ago? Fucked everybody up with iOS. Now we have Privacy Sandbox that are going to and CPMs are declining. Now you even have other things like, the move to bidders and
You just need to find a workaround. That's it.
But this is the workaround. But this is the workaround. Why? Because when you come to me and you're saying like, I want to get paid out, I say yes. I say okay, accept the tracking parameters. Give me email address. Give me phone number. Give me all this information. And they're like, of course.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And so we get to kind of. So then what do we have? We have a very rich traffic set that we can then, so your CPMs are typically higher because we know who you are. We have better CPIs. We know, we can actually do behavioral targeting within our own user base. So it's an interesting play. Anyway.
So it's so you completely circumvent any kind of the usual store fees, blah blah blah.
Yeah, there are, because there is no.
There's no.
Think about it like this. I'm giving you money to play my game.
Yeah.
But
actually you're giving money to play Felix Ads Quest.
yeah, because the thing is that up until this point, right? When we think about the idea of a device graph, right? Like, I know you have played in all these products and you're worth all this money. You don't know that. I do. In fact, actually, as a game developer, I don't. Felix knows it because he's got the ad mod side.
He's the one selling.
And he's the one who's got the CPM understanding, right? Yeah. So all I'm doing is saying, you're a heavy spender on games. You should benefit from that. Beyond the fact that you get an offer that is now, rather than getting $5, you're getting a $100 offer because you're a big spender. I'm actually telling you, you're worth a lot of money to me. So when you go and you watch his ad and it's a $600 CPM and you just earn me $3 for that view, take $2 of that. And now you've got a little catch. So you keep that process going.
That's right.
Does it work at scale?
Yeah, that's my question.
Yes.
I think I hear him this first time.
What kind of skill are we talking about?
I mean, if you think about the rewarded space,
bullshit.
right now they're currently generating about 1.5 billion in spend annually between the companies. So we're not at the same scale as your gaming. That's about 26 billion, I think. This category is growing year over year. But what's interesting is that because I'm the one taking the risk, I'm the one paying out. So typical, think about Zentraf, right? From like Tapjoy from 10 years ago, right?
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days of like Boost and whatever. So when you come in, you say, I'm an advertiser. Let's buy some intent traffic. I start going, well, it's only on that install typically, or maybe some post-install event. But the whole responsibility is placed on the advertiser to basically convert that user. Now the publisher's stepping in and saying, no, actually, I'm rewarding that player for playing your game, but I'm rewarding with part of the CPA I generate from you. So I actually have an incentive to make sure that A, it's not fraud, because if I'm paying fraud, you're gonna drop me. Right.
He mentioned
So it
fraud.
was like functional play to earn.
No, so that's funny. You talk about play to earn, right? But at the end of the day, that's what people would talk about. That like we've been doing these games for a few years now. They would come up and say, "Oh, what do you do?" Like I'm in the play to earn space. Be like, I don't think.
Web3.
Yeah, you're describing what I'm describing. Not exactly. You can play and sometimes earn. What you can actually earn. So it's
How do you arbitrage between payouts and the payout schedules that you get from ad networks, which is net 30 and net 60, right? And you have to give it instantly to users, and that
yeah. So
leaves
you
very
have,
open for like fraud and
yeah. So
bots.
So yeah, I worked in casino for a long time when I was living in Israel, and so yeah, fraud is a big part of it. So you have anti-fraud measures, but what's nice about fraud is that it usually looks like fraud. I mean, you work in you know what marketing is like. It's too good to be true. It's always too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's always fraud. So if you're like, oh, all of a sudden one guy tried to cash out a ton of money. Not to mention, by the way, the cash outs aren't automatic, right? So we still have to review. We look.
How long for cashing it?
Within 24 hours. It can be faster. Generally speaking.
But you have someone manually reviewing each of them.
It can get to that point, but eventually if you get to a place where you have, for example, we do face verification, you have to upload an ID. Once that's done, then the cash outs can be...
Real money involved measures.
But
Yeah.
how do you manage that arbitrage, right? Because you get paid net 30, net 60.
You use cash at the bank.
Okay.
But it's also, what's nice is that's
That's the scale.
because these businesses, you have a guaranteed payout for the most part.
Yeah.
You can go to a Bravo, you can go to some of these, well, not anymore because they just sold, but you can go to these companies and say, look, I have here's my receivables. I'm going to generate this much money, so advance me on first fee.
Yeah.
But the other side of this is that these games are profitable within like 3 days. So you can also do that on the marketing spend. So you can basically fund yourself on both ends without really needing heavy amounts of cash like you would need in the gaming space for marketing.
Yeah, I'm just still curious at the scale, like how much scale
Yeah, how do you
need
get-
to, because at some point, like you need some kind of a buffer to kind of keep you running. Like how big the buffer
Like if you
need to
get
be?
like
We're talking.
3 days, then this.
If
it's in 3 days, yeah.
So the thing is that the standard arbitrage method works here. Why? Because think about it a different way. Let's look at like a liftoff or an Apple oven. It's essentially the same process, except that rather than have your ads of other games, it's just sitting in one product, which we are then using to basically shift users into other products. It's kind of like a super affiliate concept, if you will, but we have a better way of targeting and cheaper to acquire users.
Cheaper to acquire.
Yeah, because when you put in for example, we did a deal with a casino and for some real money gaming.
Real world casino?
Yeah, real casino.
But
And
cheaper
you-
and casino in the same sentence. already smelling weird.
There's the fraud.
Yeah, no. So what's interesting is that I tell you as a user, I say, hey, listen, I want to earn some money by playing games. They're like, absolutely. So then
Yeah.
So that automatically drops CPA or CPI down 20-30% or even more. But that's not 30% on a typical casino user. That's on like that type of user, which is already. Our average CPI, was like $1 in the US.
Yeah.
With that, it comes down even to 60 cents. So it's like hyper casual territory when it comes to CPI. But what's interesting is you can take those
Once
users.
you're creative.
Oh, the creatives are that's.
And
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
back to product wise. So the
Save this thought. I'm a
So the creatives the creatives are awful. It's basically just like one person.
Money
like get money, do this thing.
yes, we're recording a podcast. See you
We're in the
later.
middle of recording it.
That's 1 year out.
No, we really are recording.
We really are recording.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
Fucking Apple.
Yeah, that's
Fucking Apple. They're trying to get into everything, man. We need to accept the
No, we don't want your SDK.
I love you, Adam.
Yeah.
And Raph too. Say.
Totally not sponsored.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's
Creatives.
it.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Terrible
but
creatives.
Yeah, the creatives are really
Creative
basic.
thing,
It's like, so what these companies are doing is, you
Get
guys
rich
remember?
quick.
Yeah, but you remember that it was like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Billionaire
Get
now.
rich quick, yeah.
No, that's what's interesting. If I tell you you're gonna win $1,000, you won't click.
But
It's too
you
crazy.
Can, yeah, but you can earn $5 per minute. Everybody's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. If I say you can earn $2-3 a minute, or you can earn $5 like instantly, like people are like, oh, I want to earn $5 right now. Like,
Yeah.
And generally speaking, the people who are playing the games, they're not wealthy. For them, $2-3, $10, like it's meaningful. It's material value for them. And then the ads themselves are just garbage. Just in general, they're the worst. It's like,
I worked on real money gaming apps before.
now that's different. Real money is different. These ads, because they're completely
I know,
unregulated,
I know,
have a
but still.
Fake money gaming.
it's the
Okay.
it's the worst. They
But it's like the creative kind of concepts are very similar to what I've done before the game. Earn $5 in a minute, or
Yeah, it
earn,
works.
Yeah, $10 now, immediate.
So like, it's like literally like the real play to earn in a way.
Yeah.
But as I said, like it's supported by like a social casino genre. Casino genre, let's say. We don't.
Yeah, but it can be anything. I mean, we built a fruit slicer product. We built like a flick golf game. I mean, you can go
Okay.
skill based. You can go skill based, and
It's
they
slapping on walls, everything.
anything. I mean, as long as the thing is, people are coming to make money. So as long as the game isn't standing in their way, you can gamify process by saying like, here's the thing you need to do. But there are products that have been typical in this space where the rewarded product is so convoluted that you're like, your payout is, and then you have to buy this ticket, they get you a raffle, that gets you something at the end of the week, and people are like, fuck that. Like, it's too far in the future. I want some money now. And then they're like, you don't get it, and of course, it's not real, it's fake. And then
And you're done.
Then you're done. Exactly.
What is the imp that you're running here on these users? Like, how many ads are they watching on average?
Many.
Or is it 10
Many
to 15?
all
range?
of
Or is
all
it
the
50
calls,
range?
like, give me your inventory. Like,
What are you
Wait,
talking about,
wait,
like on a daily basis?
Yeah, like a rewarded ad imp like,
Okay.
what's ad viewer rate roughly, like, and what's imp value, let's say?
The two metrics that we always talk about.
I don't know the impressions per DAU, but I can tell you. I mean, it's probably it depends on the product. Like we've had products where
For this to work, it needs to
No.
be more than 10 at least.
yeah, so I would say that's baseline for us, 10 to 15. But then we had a product that basically every 24 hours we would run a tournament. So you'd be paying out like $200 tournament, and then the way we're supporting the tournament is now it's a one-to-many approach. So maybe you can only earn $1
Yeah.
individually, but now you can earn $50. Like instantly, not instantly, every day. The way it works is that every 2 minutes you can watch an ad. That could give you a multiplier of the coins that you earn in the scratch card. That multiplier, right? It compounds over the
Goes into
24
streak, yeah.
It compounds over a 24-hour period, right? So every 2-3 minutes you watch, you get a 2%. So by the end of the day, those cards are worth millions and millions of coins just because of the compounding value you've created. And that's not really. Wait,
It's fine.
Wait,
Guys, can you
Wait.
just
we're recording.
recording?
Thank you. The joys of live
Just a
podcast.
live podcast, but
this is
it's
conference.
fine.
It's a conference cast.
Yeah, it's good.
It's different. Maybe a little more than that's where I want to sit.
Yeah,
comfortably.
we need the casting cards next time.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm kind of
Yeah.
need to dig more into this.
What's the catch?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Why is not everyone doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're not games.
There's a lot of new ones this year. I can imagine. Not exactly the same process, but a lot of incentivized networks.
Yeah, definitely a lot of incentive shopping. It
That's
doesn't
very
work very
true.
well
That's
with.
very true. We had this conversation.
A lot of people got to the same conclusion, roughly. Some of them with different tech that's better or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
What Adam just said, like, it just screams to me like only certain types of genres can create economies that can,
But
So
I've
saying
seen,
these
look,
things.
man, I've seen this tile match games with the real money gaming layer, pool games, all like something
Skill-based.
Skill-based. It's like it's absolutely random. And like the tile match game with this, the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously.
Money printer.
But the thing is that a lot of times these games are being built by people that either are really into gaming,
Yeah.
in which case they build games, which is not the purpose of these types of products, or they're on the other side, they surprisingly, shocker, or they're coming from the media side, and so they don't understand the gaming side, and so they fail on sort of the basic gamified elements. And I think that's where we have sort of carved a little niche for ourselves. Like we come from gaming, but I come from casino as well. So I recognize that the marketing element is important. For example, I'll give you something that most people don't think about. This is a tidbit for the kids at home. Yeah, this
We
is
do not support advertising Q60s in any way.
this is to amaze your friends and confuse your enemies. So the idea here is that in a typical company like any type of offer wall from your game, when you send a user out, if your game is too good, they'll just go get the credit and come back, right? Which actually for me is bad, even though it's my game, because the advertisers who are buying the traffic.
The game needs to suck.
No, this is an important caveat, because if it's a great game and I'm just like, so I jump into it and I do the incent offer for whatever, for Moon Active, you know, as you know, from the company's perspective, that's great. I just earn $10, $15, but Moon Active will kill my campaign after a couple of days. Why? Because there's no longevity with those users.
Yeah.
So I can't make the game so interesting, or more specifically, I need them to play Moon Active more consistently. Why? Because then otherwise Moon Active kills.
Yeah,
their campaign.
You worked at Moon Active once.
I'm part of the advisory board team for the last 11 years.
But that's very interesting, really. I don't think so. I've heard
He
this.
said interesting like 5 times already, so I guess
Yeah, it's interesting.
that is interesting.
You know, I think this, and I want to hear from Gus because I'm taking up too much of the time. But
I'm not selling it.
no, because you know, I think the problem we have with the gaming industry, and I think there's a whole host of reasons why this is. I think today it's because you know VCs have become smarter, right? They look at KPIs, what's your ARPDAU, what's your ROAS, so they pigeonhole gaming into the space.
They become more paranoid or more like skeptical of things.
Scared.
Yeah, scared.
Yeah.
Wiser in a way, but effectively right now, what I feel like it's, if you don't have KPIs, we're not even in a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's also short-sighted to another extent.
Certain degree.
Yeah. So smart.
We had few investors on our podcast already, and after some of the discussions, we felt like, okay, well, you know what you're doing, you don't.
But even the ones who don't, the point is that the gaming space, you know, 6 years ago, it was, you know, I have an idea and I think it could be like this, and there wasn't enough people that could tell you that it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
That they would say, okay, like let's test it, take $1 million, take $500,000.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Right? And so, but what's also coming down is that the platforms are no longer providing any level of support. So it used to be you get a feature from Apple. That was
amazing. It was game-changing.
Life-changing amounts of money and insults. Google
Now it
feature.
crushes your ECPM because your users are shit.
But still, making the days, you could earn shit ton of money in a week.
Yeah.
Now it's like not happening.
No, it doesn't happen. And and more than that, you used to build your whole business around a feature. You know,
Yeah.
I have a game. You contact your Apple rep or your
Even
your
updates.
Google. Yeah, your updates. And there were positions in companies that was the only person's job. So if you take this whole kind of ecosystem now, where you get no support from networks
On the platform.
Yeah, platform doesn't support you. The market is expensive. It's only getting more expensive, and there's no money to do it. Companies need to find ways to survive. And I feel like this is why these products are coming back.
It's called paid UA.
You know something about that?
No,
Think of a business.
maybe.
But I've been talking about this actually today, which is like, it's no longer the product is king, product is still king. But
Thank you.
it is. But I feel like the marketing team also needs like a unique selling point. It's like not just a product anymore. And that was the difference between, let's say, a few years ago and now.
Guys, honestly, I will take you one step further. Marketing determines the product these days.
Yes.
Product. Like in the game, it's like marketing. The funnel onboarding, it's marketing determines.
And the best game designers know it, and the best game designers are paying attention to what marketing is seeing.
Like you were talking on the lecture, like literally, like we've seen this many times. The biggest example that we would always talk about is Whiteout Survival. They literally build the game just for onboarding, and there's a second game which is the moneymaker out of it.
So that's like where the eye is in there, the muscle. Yeah.
It's true, and I think marketing always sort of felt like that. You know, like, hey, we need to be able to have these features and this functionality, but
Nobody was listening.
nobody was listening. And even today, I would
They
say,
didn't need to. I think that's the difference. Now
Today
they
you
need
need to.
it.
The market will push it to it.
Yeah.
It's like they don't need to, but then suddenly, nothing is working. Nothing is working.
Investor money right now.
here's the interesting thing, guys, is that, and I've worked on tons and tons of games with different companies. Part of what I do is actually come into businesses to help them in this very specific moment, which is the moment between when the users pass from the marketing user, being a marketing user, to a product user. Because you know what? No company, and I mean no company, really is there in that moment. There isn't a position that exists for the most part. Some people call it product marketing. Some people call it like CRO. Some people there are titles, but it's really that you need somebody who knows how to run marketing campaigns and knows how these users are coming in. Oh, this is a tech user, this is Facebook, this is TikTok, whatever. and you need somebody who knows how to do game design. Like,
It was just almost if you need 2.5 people as well.
Thanks, guys.
that was the podcast.
Thanks so much for listening.
But honestly, as someone who was a game designer turned marketeer, I can tell you, like, it's super rare that someone speaks both languages, and it's necessary.
and even more so because what happened.
We don't speak Rema.
I can speak both languages, but they don't.
No, but think about it another way, guys. It's not the marketing guy's fault because between 2016, no, but from 2014, when behavioral targeting became the way you bought media, right? What did Facebook do? They said, listen, don't fuck around with targeting or whatever. Lookalikes worldwide for buyers, and we'll handle it. You working on creator, and we'll do everything else. So what did media buyers become? Become data scientists.
Absolutely
They became
lazy
lazy fuck. Yes,
Lazy
that-
fucks. Lazy fucks. You remember that? Remember
I
that.
think that's a good tagline. Marketing manager, aka a lazy fuck.
Lazy fuck. Yeah, that's gonna be on the next T-shirt.
I don't fuck lazily, but I am a. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, but the point is that the market basically built a media buyer who had no sense of his own game because you could always find the right user for that type of product. And so they never had to think about marketing or how the users they were bringing. How is this non-gaming, non-whatever user going to convert to my product? How do we? Oh, marketing needs.
It was like the 2013, 14, 15, maybe just before the like ML kind of era started.
At the end of machine user glory days.
Yeah. I remember those days. We had hundreds of campaigns, like very niche targeting.
Yeah, of course.
18 to 24, interest, lookalikes, everything. Now it's like, let's just create one Advantage Plus campaign for fucking everybody. Or let's slap like big budgets. It's like, let's let Facebook do the
And then
trick.
And then you have guys like who come and say, okay, if you guys want to run a campaign with us, you need to spend $500-600 a day per OS per market for 2 weeks. And don't look at the campaigns because usually your CPAs are going to be like $300-400, but don't worry, they'll come down.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, sorry, I don't have like 50K just lying around.
Yeah.
Germany.
Exactly. No, we don't look at the campaigns like in 2 weeks.
It's called a learning phase.
The only one who's learning is how I can spend what I could have done with that $300,000. But I think that is what's taking place in the gaming space. We went from a very art style kind of creative business to and then we did this massive shift. Hyper casual to this like technology driven, like we don't care what the game looks like, if it's getting 60-day attention, 60%, we're there. And now people are in this position where it's like, okay, if I'm on iOS, I got to be like creative again, but on Android, I can still do the thing.
But those guys don't have that muscles from like the 2013, 14. It's like
I think this is like two players at the same time. So it's like simultaneously the gamers that are suddenly opening their eyes to the business, and then you have the hyper casuals that are suddenly opening up to, more refined game making. So it's a bit like John was saying in the other day, like hyper casual moving to hybrid casual and eventually casual. But you also have the reverse movement of like mid-core doing fake ads that are hyper casual. Like
Fake gameplay.
Well, because they can't buy the users anymore.
of course because it's super expensive.
Yeah, because they can't go that
it
direction.
is the singularity.
Right, so marketing
We all meet in the middle.
halfway with two men.
2.5.
2.5. In the between.
No, I think it's look. I've been in this space almost 20 years now, and I think
You look like young, so good.
I started when I was
That's what real money does to you.
exactly.
Okay,
But,
fair enough.
no, but I think that's what we're seeing today is an industry that doesn't really know itself.
Yeah.
I think people are trying to
Trying to find the new thing. Yeah.
Well, it's not just the new thing, they just don't know their own thing.
Yeah, you guys as consultants, you guys see this, that you have to reteach the basics over and over and over again. Because it's like they are in this industry, but they don't know what the industry actually implies, like over and over. And as someone that like after a decade of doing this, it's like, guys, we've been over this.
Yes, I know. Like I've seen this. Like, hey guys, come on.
Like here's a podcast I did in 1995. Just watch this. I know it's in black and white, but you'll survive. No, because some of these kids that are coming in now, like these UA managers,
They don't have no clue.
but they have no context.
They grew up in a world that they just needed to be economists, like money in, money out. There's no marketing in
Yeah, there was nothing.
Low interest rates, bro. Now we're like normal interest.
Yeah, it's like, hey, welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like, what are we gonna do? It's like, What do you mean? What? We're gonna do what we did last year.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking more last year, so
I mean,
I'm not as ageist.
yeah, I've been around for some time, so we know like this already happened so many times.
A few times. Yeah, exactly.
It will happen again.
Oh, 100%.
No, but I do want to like touch on that point. This idea that I feel like what the gaming space, if you want to like try to put your finger on, I think what the gaming space is really encountering at this moment is that we had a system of Orch that's been taken away, but it hasn't gone fully. So it's like it's like
One out. It's like half it. We're not completely out yet, so it's hard to find a new one.
Right. So if you guys have ever lived in another country, sometimes you're like, I'm here 1 year, 2 years. Like, do I buy a car? Do I buy nice furniture? Like, man, I might move back. And so you're always like between two places.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the gaming space is. That everyone's sort of between these. What iOS is basically doing with killing all of the business, and Android. With it, terrible CPMs and awful, conversion rates to paying customer, you're sort of rocking a hard place, but they're also very different places.
And let's see what happens next.
Crypto.
Yeah,
No.
No, wait. Guys, we need to ask you because like a Cosmic Lounge. If you're playing, buzzword bingo, buzzword bingo, without like setting off my buzzword chart here. What the fuck do you guys do?
Okay, so
it's like that buzzword being like, oh, well, Cosmic Life.
We use ML, machine learning, and crypto to
no. So as someone who has been here long enough, I know the buzzword bingo, and I was in the AR localization Pokemon Go bingo. I was in the VR bingo.
I was also in the VR bingo.
Social mobile local.
Social games. Oh boy. So,
hyper local.
oh god, I get a little bit sick in my stomach just thinking about buzzwords. So
Do you though?
Yeah, and so like it should be a signal the fact that I am in an AI game company. So first of all, it's a game company. It's not an AI product. We're not selling anything. We're not doing like AI. We're doing games.
So like Web 2 in the house.
Jeez, guys, no.
Like,
We're a game company. Come on, X-King at Sirius X Row, we are people that average age in the company like 10 years. So we've been around the block making puzzles.
well, yeah, quite young.
We also have our 20-somethings.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of cookie jars.
But we have been making puzzle games specific or casual games specifically for a while. So these are actual game makers.
And how do you leverage AI?
Exactly. So this was the thing. Imagine you're at a big company like a King or whatever, and you're thinking, hey, I now want to really like dive deep into AI. If I feel like AI is like the new Photoshop for artists, right? It's like this new tool that doesn't actually create a genre, it doesn't actually make anything different, but it makes it faster. So it's a tool.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not reinventing the wheel, you're making the factory line that makes wheels.
So Cosmic Lounge is a gaming company that uses AI tools to build games quicker, more efficiently.
Yes.
Also themselves, or just helps the other people?
It does not, we do not help. We believe that this shit is so important, or it's going to make so much money that we want to keep it for ourselves, really. Okay. So the idea.
We're not selling anyone.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I mean, like, yeah.
So think about it like this. So you have a casual game. It takes, 9 months to make? Something like this, sometimes more. But then you have hyper-casual games, and we talked about, 2 months, something like this. So now imagine you're making casual games at the speed of...
4 weeks.
But let me ask you a question.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. So hyper casual is like an up-down game, right? Game goes up, and then you make another one, back game goes down, and it goes up. So is there a benefit, in your opinion, because that's the business here, of having 40 games in this, let's say you can roll this out and it goes faster and faster, and eventually, you're getting a game that's almost instant. It's like a couple of days, the thing compiles all the systems together, boom, you get a game.
Mm-hmm. So at first I was thinking, it's nice because, you experiment more, you fail more, you learn more. But the more I've done some experiments in this area, the more I realize the kind of A/B tests that you can do, the kind of things that you learn. Because think about it, if you make games at that speed, at the speed of hyper-casual, hybrid casual, but with a casual meta, with a casual monetization method, I'm talking like 70-30 for context here. You get the learnings from casual, but at the speed of a hybrid or a hyper-casual, you start to be able to test games against other games and ideas against other ideas, mini games against other mini games.
Like them.
Yeah, but look, so this is what I'm trying to get at. You look at the top grossing charts for the last 5-6 years. Yeah. How many new games have entered your chart, right? Yeah,
2.5?
something, right? And how many of those games were launched in the year that they were not in a single one, right? So
Yeah.
it's this massive, long process, which isn't really about the game per se. It's about the growth of the community, the growth. So the question that I have here,
growth for a community, it's growth for the company itself. So if you think as a company releasing multiple games, right? You're gonna fail, you're gonna miss, you're gonna not do so well. But you learn each and every time, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
What's the thing, like, what do you learn?
What do you learn? That's
Yeah,
the thing.
and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like if you've got this track that you can just pump out as many games, and they don't like blue. Okay, we got to make it red, right, or whatever. I'll learn it. It's been
The important part is not only to learn, but to get faster.
Yeah.
Each consecutive game needs to be released faster. Otherwise, you're doing something wrong. Just learning.
How long does it take to release a game right now?
So that's the thing that I'm trying to say is that we specialize in puzzle games, grid-based puzzle games. And there's a point to this. It's if you specialize in one niche, you are learning all the learnings that are re-applicable. So imagine I make a new feature. I make a reward odds placement.
Yeah.
The next game can have the exact same reward odds placement, and suddenly I don't need to develop it again, right?
Yeah.
So the developers, each incremental thing will be worth later, even if the game would fail, right?
Makes sense.
To answer your question about the speed at which we develop, I can't say too much right now, but I can say hybrid casual speed.
So 3 to 6 months. I'm saying that on you.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
That's less.
I would say
3 months.
Oh, hybrid casual. No, hybrid casual. It depends. I think this word hybrid casual doesn't necessarily denote speed per se.
Yeah.
I think it's about mechanics. Like if you go heavy on the graphics.
I was just saying it to see his reaction.
Why haven't we released yet is because there's a lot of fine tuning on all of this. Like it's still new tech. AI is still new. There's still a lot of hallucination and stuff that happens. It's not perfect. So it takes time to develop. And the other thing is like, okay, so we talked about earlier today the fact that we can do a lot of mini games. So we imagine we make a fake ad, we can actually put that in a game of ours as a mini game that actually exists in the game.
In a very quick turnaround.
It's hours. So that's why I'm like fucking excited. This is why I love this job, because it's like suddenly the fake ads that we both know.
So when Century Games releases a new fake ad, you can have it in a mini game within an hour or a couple hours.
I wake up, look at it, look at the chart. Yeah.
Or you can just use reply and then you have it automatically.
It's crazy.
But this sounds to me like
If that works,
But then you have an issue, right? And this is why we're taking time and we're learning or experimenting a lot. Is how do you fit all of them into one game, right? Like you have examples like Lily's Gardens, Nightmares.
Yeah.
Right? But I
all over the place.
Yeah, I don't like that so much. So what we're now trying to investigate.
all the pin puzzles.
Is how do you fit it in a way that's logical, right? We do have the advantage if all the games are like grid-based puzzles, they all kind of feel
You can make it episodic or saga-based.
So that's what we're experimenting with.
So do I understand correctly? Because still sounds to me very cool for what Happy is doing. They have a template for roleplay RPG. They can switch core gameplays around.
did you not hear AI?
Something. Wait a second. They have the fucking same template, same monetization, same shop, same events, same everything, and just
Oh, we're not doing clapping? Okay.
So what's the difference between this thing?
Well, I think the biggest difference right now is genre. Like we're
Yeah, that's the main problem. It's locked to that one genre, and you can only do that one.
But he's locked into the genre. He's locked.
But it's on purpose.
But when you're describing this framework, you're locked to the framework. So
Yeah, you look roguelike
but that's
action
not-
RPG.
But that's not what he's saying. He's saying that what they can do is they can look at the framework, and the framework is as malleable as the core loop.
The technology does enable us to not need to necessarily release a new title. Necessarily. Like we might do
does
that.
this mean?
It means that you could have a Magic Candy Crush, but every level is something completely unique.
Yeah.
Built on top of itself moving forward. So in
theory,
grid-based
we
game,
haven't proved if we should.
Are
do
you still
different
waiting the
games or
grid-based
not.
game template?
Yeah.
if you go with that route, yes.
Can we build an archer out of it?
Yes.
So this is what we're trying to figure out. We don't have enough results.
Archer
for
out of it, but at least like introducing the same genre.
Yeah.
Like, we are waiting the puzzle genre, let's say.
Yeah.
Can we use the same template for a roguelike RPG game? Or a
Why not us?
I mean, you have to train the model on whatever.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing,
mean,
like-
you have to build it. You have to build the system.
that's the main problem with like all these kind of
But like at least
templates that we still talk about. Like, you lock into one genre.
Sure, but okay, but you have the match 3. You can add merge first, or a different like not blast, but
Subgenre, but you're still within the genre.
In the end of the day, it's the training.
And merge and match free and
Yeah.
tap the blast and all these different genres. They're
It's
different
subgenre,
genres,
but this is
but still yes.
but they're all puzzle and grid based.
But can we do, idle RPG out of it?
But that's not the point.
probably not.
No, but the thing is, think about the model. You have to train the model, right? Just like you have in any bidding algorithm, right? So yeah, you want to buy for casino? Cool, you can do that. Can you do this also for non-casino games? Sure.
And
train
train
the
on
model.
the potential of just casual puzzle. Like you don't need.
But I have to come back. But
No, I'm just asking, like, what's the possibility? Because, like, of course, like, don't get me wrong, it's great.
But what Adam was saying also, like you start with match 3 and then whatever is like tap to blast, and then you just switch all these.
And assets.
How do you feed
If
the
you go,
algorithm,
you still be in the one game.
What do you mean by that?
How do you feed it? Like, which way
Which
you want
data
to
set
go?
you
Which
need?
state?
You
Which
usually
state?
feed it with margarita.
You feed the Gus with margaritas.
No, but
I got a question. So, wait, not to because this is actually interesting to what you're saying. Because obviously you're training it either on your own games or you're reverse engineering it in the case of other games to be like, look at this game, it's successful,
Okay.
give me this product. So, have you guys heard of this company called Nightshade? You ever heard of this product?
that's a cool name.
Fucking
though.
cool.
Nightshade.
Cool. And if I tell you what it does, it's me even cooler. What it does
Come on,
is
Cosmic Lounge is awesome.
what Nightshade does is that when you upload a video, you have like, so you have your drawing, right? So what's the problem with AI is they use this open source, not open source, they use the internet to train itself, right? Like ChatGPT, we have all these problems, right? So what Nightshade does is that when you upload an image, you first compile it with Nightshade. And what Nightshade does is it makes the visual of the image is looking like this, but when an AI reads it, it will corrupt the AI system. So if it uses it to train the model, so they say within 100 images, if 100 images come up with this system,
Doesn't affect us.
it will collapse that. No, I mean, it's more about just the idea of how do you regulate the usage of AI in this context.
So the
Nightshade.
how do we avoid Nightshade? No, that's actually a really simple answer. We don't develop the AI. We develop a tool, right? So Puzzle Engine, which is the tool that we develop in-house, that is, AIs are hot swappable, right? So imagine now one AI is corrupted, Midjourney or whatever, and we want to switch to Leonardo, right?
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
Like, and it, for us, again, a few hours. And that's the point. It took us a while to develop the technology to be able to hot swap all these different AIs, but we are doing it because some of them are going to fail, and we know this, and we need to be ready for that.
But I think that's an important caveat. What he's describing, right, is that you have 15 different AIs trained on different types of
One at a time, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, as a concept, I think, your audience is more familiar with like a bidding algorithm, then they'll be super familiar with that concept that's related to AI and game development.
Yeah. A mediation of AIs.
An AI.
Well, technically, that's what we're doing in a way.
Yeah, but like sounds completely like logical to me. Like it's like swapping out those canisters. Some of them burn out. Like you put a new canister in. Like the cannon is the important thing.
Imagine one AI suddenly has copyright issues.
Yeah.
We can just immediately
Pull it out.
Yeah, it's like pulling out your favorite friends from that network.
Looking at you, Mintegral.
But if I had to summarize it, it's we as game makers figured out it's good to specialize in a genre, and now we're building all the tools to specialize faster, way faster. And then on the UA implications, for me, it's super exciting to be able to hot swap fake ads, and they're actually real mini games in the game.
I got to come back to this idea. Do you think this will be as successful as a Candy Crush without?
Not first.
So how do you get there? So Candy Crush is like same game, same everything, hyper focus on this one part.
Yeah.
What I've seen look at Slotomania, look at Clash of Clans. You look
The
at
genre masters.
Yeah, but these aren't genre masters. These are people who have singularly focused.
You were first on.
Okay, fine. Let's look at.
No. Let me answer the question.
Here's my point. This is a company that took all its resources in one product and just lived that one product for 6 years until they got it right. Does the AI inhibit that, or does our current, the way we're built as gaming companies, it's like it's not working really well?
How do you compete with someone that made 15,000 levels? How do you compete with that? You need to make 15,000 levels.
No,
You're going to make as a startup 15,000 levels. You're not, right? So maybe use AI to get that edge to be able to compete. So I'm not going to say that we have the tools to beat them overnight, but we have the tools to start competing with them with a way smaller team.
I agree with the smallness of the team component, but when you've done 500 levels, you know what a good level looks like.
Yeah.
You have the genre expertise, basically.
That's an important caveat, yes, guys. levels of whatever level, you need data of those levels.
Yep.
You can make as many levels as possible. If you don't have the
Well-
data, throughput rates, the conversion rates of those levels are
Win rates.
I don't know.
Yes.
Well,
especially.
this is the kind of stuff I can't talk about.
Now we're getting serious.
I cannot talk about that, but let's
where
say
do you
that
think the AI is
we
getting
are
its
starting
ability?
to
You can't-
investigate in that area.
Yeah, but it's like
But you have to. Like that's
Yeah.
the only
Yeah,
way.
that's the thing. That's
If
why
everyone balances level,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
and how would you insert
that's
AI
the
into
know-how.
that?
That's the know-how.
well, I
Yeah.
think you no. So I can try. No, but there's one KPI that you look at. It's called OCR, or the rate of completion, right?
Yeah. Yes,
So there's a rate of completion which is beneficial for purchase. Right?
Exactly.
Typically above 80%, 88 to 90%. So if you get too close, the person might not pay. If you get too far away, so if you lose,
Frustration tolerance.
How do you do it nowadays? You have a level designer that's checking the data and optimizing and refixing, redoing.
Doing
the level.
endless A/B tests.
So,
Or you have dynamic tuning. So you're looking at you have a baseline level, so the number of moves you have per level, then you start to run it through, you get an average baseline of how many people are paying.
Yeah.
And losing. So when you lose this level, your completion rate is 40%. Okay, we need to add more moves. Or you need to reduce the number. So you have basically two levels, well, three. You have a PID controller, which is a color weighting system. Use that to basically either define, I have a number of moves, this is the ease of usage. There's other factors, like it took me 6 minutes to complete this all. That's way too long. So you can manage all the line to this. But those were, if I'm thinking about that process, that's the hook for the
but I think that's the bread and butter of going into puzzling. Yeah, you kind of have to.
But an AI could make that easy. Like, I understand that an AI could get that done.
So you see, I'm not going to claim here that we're going to innovate the space in a way that the game is going to come out and it's going to be the most fresh take on puzzle, whatever. At least not at first. But I can guarantee you that we'll get there faster. So that's kind of.
Does this help the industry or hurt it?
Ooh, now that's spicy because I
Gus
think.
works there, so he's all right.
Unfortunately, that is the answer. That is the answer.
There's money, right? So you're
No, but that is the answer. Unfortunately, I think it raises the bar of minimum.
Entry level.
So does it help or hurt the industry?
It filters it out.
It filters it out. It kind of hurts it in some ways and helps it in others. So once you copycat faster, copycatting doesn't work anymore. So eventually you need to innovate again. So again, product becomes
You
king again.
amplify the expertise pretty much.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't think about it like that first.
That's really.
But I like that idea. I like the idea that the copy, like right now we all.
You know
live
what
in a
it does? You know what it
yeah.
does? It means that no one can rest on their laurels anymore.
I like that. I like this idea. So
Quality for all.
So I'd say it improves quality, even if
quality, yes.
even if the quality is simply by saying, look, I'm not making it.
I like
Or I'm going to make something else. I got to invent something else.
That's always what I hear, even from like the really good graphics guy friend. Like everybody in graphics community is like scared about AI. My graphics friend was just like, give me all of it because like I will be able to do the work of 20 people.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's what happens to me as well. And like I said, like, look, guys, like there's Midjourney, like Adobe, whatever tools AI they have, like
You give it to an artist.
it makes the process so much more efficient immediately. Like,
It's so beautiful
Yeah.
to give an AI to the right person and they go ham with it.
Yeah.
I like the idea. You hear this thing like AI is going to take your job. It's like no, somebody who uses it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
You still need somebody that knows what they're doing. I have great artists, and the AI made them.
And they're not
even
perfect.
better, yeah.
yet.
Oh my God, yeah.
And as someone who's not into buzzwords, it's not perfect yet. You need someone to manually tweak out all the outputs.
It's
You
not
do.
real AI. I really want to like say
It's
something.
an assistant.
No,
It's
no,
an
but
assistant.
it's not artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
not.
concepts. Like
LLM
it's a machine learning system, right?
Fair enough.
AI would grow and eventually literally take your job because
Skynet.
it's your right, and then it would eventually become racist and kill.
Well,
Skynet.
That is what happens. Skynet. There's a reason that go all the way.
We don't
through
have
this,
the
but-
real
no,
AI
but-
yet.
Yeah.
No, it's at the end
But
of
we
the day.
have tools. We have
they're
assistants.
tools, exactly.
It replaces. So even as a professional in the games industry, the bar also raises, right? Because if you can just do mediocre jobs, an AI will kind of not fully replace you, but in a way replace.
Yeah.
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 You just need to keep up. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And with that, I guess.
Yeah,
Time to end. We have T-shirts for you guys. Thank you guys for coming on.
yeah, we have it. Amazing.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for that.
Good.
Thanks, that's perfect.
Don't forget to like and subscribe before AI replaces you.
Yeah. Thank you. Woo.
See you around.
See you
Come to
around.
Barcelona.
Amazing.
Good conversation.